Okay, a couple of harder questions, but not impossible. We have a fair bit of knowledge now to work out the sum of an arithmetic sequence. We are told the third term is 4 and the eighth term is negative 11, and it wants to know what's the sum of the first 30 terms. So to find out the sum of terms, we either use this formula or this formula. For the first formula, I need to know the first term and the last term. I don't know either of those, and I don't have enough information to work out the last term from this. So I'm going to have to use this formula here. But I need to do a little bit of work before I can work out that formula, because I know that n is 30, but I don't know A and I don't know D. But I have knowledge from what I've learned in past lessons to work out A and D. So using the rule over here, we are told that the third term is equal to 4. So A plus 3 minus 1 times by D is equal to 4. So in other words, A plus 2D is equal to 4. We are told that the eighth term, which is A plus 8 minus 1 times by D, we are told that that is equal to negative 11. So A plus 7D is equal to negative 11. Let's look at the two equations I've got. 1, 2. Using my knowledge of simultaneous equations, I can look at these and say, okay, they're both A, or both 1A, same sign, so I'm going to subtract. So I say A subtract A cancels. 2D subtract 7D is negative 5D. And 4 subtract negative 11 gives me positive 15. Divide this by negative 5 to cancel. Divide this by negative 5. So D is equal to negative 3. So I have D. Now let's use this information to help us find A. So I'm going to sub negative 3 for D, and I'm going to do that into this first equation. Again, you can choose the second equation, but I'll choose the first one. So I've got A plus 2D is equal to 4, but remember I'm going to sub negative 3 for D. So A subtract 6 is equal to 4. Add 6 to both sides, therefore A is equal to 10. So A is equal to 10. Now, I've got enough information here now to help me find the sum of the first 30 terms. So into this green formula, we say the sum of the first 30 terms is equal to 30 over 2, because n is 30, 2 times 10, because A is 10, plus 30, subtract 1, n is 30, times that by D, which is negative 3. So then we've got the sum of the first 30 terms is equal to 15, 30 divided by 2. 2 times 10 is 20, plus 29, 30 minus 1, times by negative 3. So the sum of the first 30 terms is equal to 15, and then we have 20 subtract 87, negative 3 times by 29. So the sum of the first 30 terms is 15 times by negative 67, and 15 times by negative 67 gives us negative 1005. Now, right from up here, you can probably put that into your calculator. I just am into the habit of not using a calculator. So let's go back to the question. If the third term is 4, and if the eighth term is negative 11, what's the sum of the first 30? The sum of the first 30 terms is negative 1005. Okay, this next example, again harder, but we do have enough knowledge to find this. This first term is negative 7. The sum of the first 25 terms is 1625. Find the 25th term. In other words, find the last term, or L. So here's our formula. But this time we're not trying to find the sum, we know the sum, we're trying to find L. So we know that the sum of the 25 terms is equal to 25 over 2. We know the first term is negative 7, and we are trying to find L. We know that the sum of the first 25 terms is 1625. So in other words, 25 over 2 negative 7 plus L is equal to 1625. 25 over 2 is 12.5. So 12.5 is equal to 1625. I'm going to expand out my brackets. So negative 87.5 plus 12.5 L equals 1625. And I might do this slightly different to the book. I'm going to add 87.5 to this side to cancel that out. So I need to add 87.5 to the other side. So I have 12.5 L is equal to 1625 plus 87.5, 1712.5. Divide that by 12.5 to cancel. Divide this by 12.5. So the last term must be 137. So that's the first part. We've worked out what the last term must be. Okay, we know the first term. We know the first term is negative 7. The second part of this question says find the first 5 terms. Well, we need to know what the common difference is to do this. If I utilise this formula here, I have enough information to work out the common difference. Because I know that the 25th term is equal to A, which is negative 7, plus 25 minus 1 times by D. And I know that that is equal to 137, because I've just worked that out. So the 25th term is 137. So if I expand my brackets, negative 7 plus 25D subtract, sorry, I've just jumped ahead of myself there. I then write negative 7 plus 24, because 25 minus 1 is 24. Negative 7 plus 24D equals 137. I'm well onto my way to finding out what D is. I'm going to add 7, so that cancels, so I'm going to add 7. Therefore, 24D is equal to 144, because that's what 137 plus 7 is. Divide by 24, divide by 24, and that means D is 6. So it wants me to work out what the first 5 terms are. Well, the difference is 6. The first term is negative 7. So if the difference is 6, the next term is going to be negative 1. If the difference is 6, the next term will be 5. If the difference is 6, the next term will be 11. And one more, because I just wanted to know the first 5 terms. If the difference is 6, then the 5th term is 17. So the second part of the question says, what are the first 5 terms? Well, we had to work out over here, having found what the 25th term was. The 25th term was 137. Having found that, we utilised that over here, utilised that to help us find D, and then that gave us enough information to work out the first 5 terms.